Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have everyone sit down? It is the most anticipated part of the festival when we announce the GLF Book Awards 2023 in three categories: general fiction and non-fiction, business, and children's books. Those of you who are standing, we would love for you to sit down so we can get started with the awards ceremony now. We have two GLF honor books in every category and one GLF Book of the Year. All winners get certificates and trophies made of recycled material. Additionally, the Book of the Year carries a cash prize of 50,000 rupees. Before we get started with the awards ceremony, I would just like to give you a brief overview of the impact that the Green Literature Festival has had in the last 1 year. I mean, this is just a quick, our story in numbers. We've had in the last 1 year 40 plus conversations on the environment. We've had 125 plus book reviews on our website, 100 plus authors engaged, 3,000 audience, both offline and online engaged, 10 plus partners, and 4 lakh plus rupees worth green books that sold at the Green Literature Festival 2022. So, yes, a big round of applause. I mean, all books exclusively and only on the environment, nature, conservation. That's just one of the statistics that makes us very, very glad. We thank our book partners for carefully curating their collections of books and bringing it to the Green Literature Festival. We've also launched our newsletter in 2023. The Green Literature Festival newsletter has been showing some wonderful responses with lots of people subscribing. And, it has, there are reviews of books in all three categories: business, children, and adult books. We have new arrivals. We have articles and features of interest on the newsletter. And, the event coverage, the several events that we do across the year that get covered in the newsletter. So for those of you who are interested, we'd be absolutely delighted if you subscribed to our newsletter. It's free. Just log into our website and click subscribe. That's all you need to do to get some green reads into your inbox. The next one. So this is an initiative that I particularly wanted to talk about. It was spearheaded by Megha Gupta, who heads our youth wing, Literature Across Borders. Please put your hands together for her. It's a phenomenal initiative, a literary exchange curated by Green Literature Festival, and particularly Megha, to make green books travel across borders. We've often heard of a lot of green books from the West coming into India, but to actually get Indian green reads out there, students and young people reading those books and having conversations about them, really, we need a bigger round of applause to Megha for making this happen. We're hoping to take it forward in more meaningful ways this year, so do watch the Green Literature website to know of a lot more literature crossing borders. Thank you for those slides. Now, of course, like I said, this was just to tell you, it's a small impact, but this is a small festival. And sometimes, like many of our panelists in the morning today said, small is really beautiful. So, it gives us so much joy to see this engaged group of audience here, being with us from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., listening to Green Conversations. We thank you all for the wonderful support that you've given us in everything we do. Now, about the awards, it's been one of the most important part of our festivals to recognize and honor books of green literature in all these categories. And today, the GLF 2023 awards, you will know very quickly who has won all of them. Over a century ago, when someone asked Aldo Leopold, the American writer, philosopher, and naturalist, how one can think like a mountain, I think he had the right idea. He said, write a story about one. And so he inspired generations and generations of people to come to pursue conservation efforts. We are confronted by similar questions now. How do you make someone think like an ecosystem? How do you make someone think like nature itself? The necessity of answering these questions, is pressing hard upon us as we witness ecological disasters of all kinds like we've never seen before. And as always, it's writers, illustrators, creators, and storytellers that have lent their unique voices to make sense of the looming crisis in our world and to find potential solutions. So for the Green Literature Festival, our awards are an effort to celebrate this very creativity in literature. I would like to invite Mr. Santhosh Jayaram on stage to he's going to address the audience a little later, but to give away our awards. Mr. Jayaram, could I request you to come on stage, please? Mr. Jayaram's career spans almost 3 decades across manufacturing, consulting, and auditing in the environmental and social space. He is currently the Global Head Sustainability, HCL Technologies Limited. He's the head of the Sustainability and CSR Advisory Practice at KPMG, where he developed the biggest consulting team in India and has worked with more than 100 companies in India alone. Recently, he was also involved with the SEBI Technical Committee on Social Stock Exchange and was part of the task force set up by the Department of Economic Affairs to develop the sustainable finance taxonomy for India. We will have Mr. Jayaram talk to us a little later about what he does, but I'm going to get started with the awards in the general fiction and non-fiction category. The 5 books that made it to the shortlist in the general fiction and non-fiction category are At the Feet of Living Things, 25 Years of Wildlife Research and Conservation in India, edited by Aparajita Datta, Rohan Arthur, and T.R. Shankar Raman. What's Left of the Jungle, a conservation story by Nitin Shekhar. Valli by Sheila Tomi, translated from the Malayalam by Jayashree Kalathil. Birdwatching, a novel by Stephen Alter, and Superpowers on the Shore by Sejal Mehta. Now, the GLF 2023 Honor Book Award. So like I said, we have 2 honor books and 1 book of the year. The GLF 2023 Honor Book Award goes to At the Feet of Living Things. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the team Aparajita Datta, Rohan Arthur, and T.R. Shankar Raman. May I call upon Aparajita, who is here today, and Rohan, I think he's here as well, to come on stage to collect the awards. The next GLF 2023 Honor Book Award goes to Superpowers on the Shore by Sejal Mehta. Please give Sejal, a very, very big round of applause. I'm going to see if Sejal is here as well. Please come up on stage, Sejal. One big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read the jury's citation for the book. Sejal Mehta's book opens up a rich and fascinating world of intertidal organisms to anyone with the inclination to pause and look at what a receding tide reveals. Day or night, this zone can thrill you with its inhabitants, be it an unexpected octopus on a Mumbai beach or the glowing plankton in the tidal pools of a rural coastline. There is much beauty, drama, and resilience in the beings of this zone, so diverse in form and function. A walk along the beach may never be the same again once you've read Superpowers on the Shore. Sejal, may I invite you to come and say a few words?
Thank you so much from everyone at Greenlit for recognizing green literature, giving it space, and the time to kind of make our audiences look beyond the obvious. And that's the panel we had in the morning as well. For superpowers, I think intertidal life, most of intertidal life, is stuff that you can hardly see. It's smaller than your fingernails also sometimes. And in that, I think in Bombay, which is a city of buildings reaching for the skies, the miniature scale of intertidal life brought me quite literally to my knees. And it made me look at neighborhoods that are slightly different than ours, but not so different, on our beaches. And it is a neighborhood. And my favorite thing to possibly do on a shore walk is when you think of pristine environments, when you think of protected areas, and it's all very beautiful, right? But what we forget sometimes is that creatures who live near us, which are in urban areas, and there's a strange sort of empathy that bonds. Because when you think of those creatures, and you see them battling with the same things that you're battling with in the city, for example, you sort of say, "Teri bhi band baji hai, meri bhi band baji hai, let's sail through this together." That kind of empathy is very powerful. And I hope this book, if you do manage to read it, brings you a little closer to the coast, because it's beautiful. Apart from the conservation angle of it, I hope that tide pooling becomes as popular as bird watching. And it's a beautiful day at the beach whenever you go. So go meet the neighborhood, go meet some creatures, and make new friends. And that sort of empathy will take us quite far. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much to the organizers. And yeah, I'm very happy. Thanks.
You can see that Aparajita and Rohan are here. After 25 years of wildlife research and conservation, everybody is allowed to rest their feet. But this is, the GLF 2023 Honor Book Award is also, besides Superpowers on the Show, has also gone to At the Feet of Living Things. So may I welcome Aparajita and Rohan onto stage. Here's what the jury's citation for the book says. Conservation is essentially an act of love, a testament to the dedication and passion of a group of scientists to protect the living world around them. At the Feet of Living Things chronicles multiple journeys, varied experiences, and moving self-reflections on what it means to want to conserve biodiversity in a world that's largely indifferent to that conviction. A must-read, not only if you want to know what it is to be a conservation scientist in India, but also if you've ever wondered if science can coexist with love. A big hand again for Aparajita and Rohan. May we invite you to say a few words.
Thanks a lot for this award. It means a lot to all of us. And it means a lot not just to us, but to all the other authors who've helped us put this together. All we were doing was really shepherding a bunch of narratives together to the brief that we gave everyone when writing this book was that we wanted the truest possible stories about conservation. Often stories of conservation are told as a whole lot of success stories. Every conservation story is a success. And yet we look around us and all we see are disasters unfolding. So how do we square that? How do we square the disasters unfolding with all these apparently obvious conservation success stories all around? Having been doing conservation within the Nature Conservation Foundation for the last 25 years or so, we came to the recognition that conservation is difficult. They're messy stories. You don't have, you go in there, you look for a problem, and you find an easy solution, and you come out smelling of roses. We have a lot of failures, we have a lot of problems, we have a lot of self-doubt, and we wanted those stories as well to be told. And I hope that some of that gets reflected in this book as well, and we hope that many of you will read it.
Thank you so much for this award. Yeah, it's an honor. I think just wanted to repeat that there were 18 other authors. A lot of our colleagues have written about their stories. It's like, a lot of the younger scientists or the researchers and PhD students also wrote. So I hope some of you will read it now that you know about the book. I don't have anything further to add. Thanks. Yeah, Rohan said it.
Come, you can come. And now for that wonderful GLF 2023 Book of the Year, the award goes to Bird Watching by Stephen Alter. Please put your hands together for Stephen Alter, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen, may we call you on stage to collect your award. Here's what the jury citation for birdwatching says. Stephen Alter's Birdwatching reads like an unput-downable wartime spy thriller, but is so much more than that, with threads of nature writing, romance, and historical fiction woven together dexterously. As the story unfolds, the reader is drawn in chapter by bewitching chapter, each named after a beautiful bird who features in it, making the mystery soar to sublime heights. This is a poetic book that makes you want to go outdoors, ideally to the snow-clad Himalayas, listen to birdsong, and have an adventure of a lifetime. Stephen, may I call you to say a few words?
Thank you so much, Vidya. This is a huge honor, and I'm absolutely delighted. I'm also a little bit baffled because I think there aren't many espionage thrillers that qualify as a green book. But as I was saying earlier, I think one of the exciting things about nature writing, as it's evolved throughout the world, but here in India too, is that it is entering into different genres. So that it doesn't necessarily have to be the nature writing of M. Krishnan, one of India's great nature writers, which is essentially nonfiction from a professional naturalist. Green writing can be, as we've seen, children's writing, graphic novels. I would argue that it can even be in science fiction as well. There are some wonderful science fiction novels that are books about conservation. So I'm deeply honored. I'm very grateful to GLF for this honor and to the jury as well. So thank you all very much. And I will say one thing. Everybody looks at a book like this and says there must be autobiographical elements in it. Yes, I am a bird watcher. No, I am not a CIA agent.
We'd also like you to put your hands together for the jury in the general fiction and non-fiction category. That was Sindhu Radhakrishna, professor and head of the Animal Behavior and Cognition Program at the National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bengaluru. And we are delighted we have Radhika Timbadia here, ecologist by qualification and proprietrix of the beautiful Champaka bookstore in Bangalore, and Vinitha Vishwanathan, who is trained as an ecologist at the Salim Ali School of Ecology in Pondicherry and has been an editor and science writer for over a decade now. A big round of applause, and I think Radhika is here somewhere, so. I would now like to call Mr. Santhosh Jayaram to talk a little bit about, of course, first I would like to call Benedict Paramanand to come and announce the business awards, and then you will ask Mr. Jayaram to speak about the jury experience.
Good to see a lot of you still around. Yeah, I'm quite delighted and honored to announce the GLF Business Honor Book Awards. And Santhosh is our head of our jury. Happy to call Santhosh to the dais. And we have Anne Royston Thomas here as a jury. And Gayatri Chauhan, she's on the way, I guess. So I'd like to ask Santhosh to share his experience of the choice of books that he had to read, 5 books in 1.5 months or 2 months. And how was his experience and what were his takeaways?
Usually, if it is an event around corporate, I don't require all this. I'm pretty fluent, but and even like this, I was just telling, on the dais I'm a bit nervous, so please bear with me on that. No, I think it has been an incredible day altogether for me. And although I have been associated with the GLF and Benedict for all the three things. This is the first time I'm able to attend in person. When we look into business, and from morning you would have heard, in most of the environment or in the context of the color green, the business is always the antagonist. Most of the times. And, it's something very early in my career, when as a consultant, when I was there, when one of the companies which approached us for a sustainability consulting, and who are not very well known, or rather I would say on the other side, better known for destructions of the natural environment and all, they reached out to us. I was in a dilemma. And I did ask the senior at that time, do we have to really provide consulting to them? He said one thing, is that, so do you mean to say, Santhosh, that you will work only with the converted? Then what's the impact you are creating? And I think it was an important message for me, and from that day I have tried my best to kind of work with organizations and try to do that. But coming back to this, not just fiction, non-fiction, even poetry, and a whole things around that. So I think there is a potential to go more local with this as well. And in terms of the business-oriented books, this year we saw a very diverse nature of books put forward to the jury. 5 books, as Benedict said. We had a book which was more of a guide for sustainable living. We had a research-backed book on urban green space and health economics. Now you can think about a guide on sustainable living and then a research-oriented book. Then we had another book which would help the corporate world to navigate through their social responsibility side. So that was another book which came in. And we had a book which navigated through a number of grassroots interventions across India to study what worked and why they succeeded. And then, of course, a book on the historical sequence of the sustainable development in India, and bringing a kind of a complex relationship of human, environment, and economics. So I think by this you can get a sense of how much diverse this number of books were, and it is quite difficult to kind of, a jury to, select from that diverse set of books. But of course, we used a bit of, a framework to look into. We looked into the kind of the originality of the content. That was one. How much influence it can bring in, and what's the clarity of the thought and how well it is communicated. So these were the 3 things which we looked into. But always, I always say that with a diverse set of books, to put them into one kind of a parameter and judge them is going to be difficult. So for me, most of those books were the winners, but then inside this framework, we have selected one of the winners as well. So over to you to declare that, and maybe.
Thanks, Santhosh. Can I ask Anne to come over?
Namaskara, everyone. So, as Santhosh has already mentioned all the points, everything that was on my mind, I do not want to repeat them all. But what really struck me this time when I went through all of the 5 books was that a lot of it was positive, all the information provided. But that is not the case now, whether it's in terms of publication or what's available as, audiovisual media. It's always to alarm, not necessarily to inform. And last year, I was approached by a media network to collaborate on a series. It was a documentary series on climate change. And I just had a couple of discussions with them, and the one thing that they kept using, the one term that they kept using was, we need to alarm people. So that was, it really shocked me that the purpose was only to alarm and not to provide a solution. And I told them I'm a consultant, and for me, I earn my bread by giving solutions. My work is not to alarm people, it's to give solutions. And then they said, but we are a media network, we need to alarm people. Only then can we tell them how important this is. Only then will they feel inclined to do something about climate change. I don't think so. I think being positive can do a lot more to mitigating climate change impacts rather than just feeling sorry about yourselves or sorry about the next generation, feeling bad that you are not able to do anything because the government is corrupt or because you personally do not have the capacity to bring about a change. So, especially one of the books had a set of 24, it was penned by 24 different authors, and that brought a lot of diversity into the articles, and the anthology was, I found it amazing, and I think that was the second on the list. So I was really happy that it's a book on successful interventions. And there was also one from Kerala. I'm mentioning that because it's an organization that I grew up hearing about, the Kudumbashri, and that's a really successful women's organization in India that empowered hundreds of families, not just women, because most of the women who work in this organization were the sole breadwinners of their family. Or the major breadwinner. So, coming back to alarming, informing instead of alarming, I think through the literature fest, and like Santhosh was saying, I think we need to have more in regional languages as well, because what is closer to home can be, best expressed in one's own mother tongue, which is Malayalam for me. So thank you, Benedict, for inviting me to this platform. I've also had the opportunity to launch my journal, which is a journal. I'm just using this opportunity to share the news about our new journal, the Journal of Eco-Urbanism and Neuroarchitecture. So it's the first journal in the world in this very niche field. And what makes it different from other research journals is that it's in a format which is accessible to the lay public. I mean, you do not have to be an architect or a neuroscientist to understand what's written in it, because our target is not practicing professionals alone, but their clients as well, which means any homeowner or just about anyone who wants to design or redesign their built structure. So we are targeting a wide audience and hoping that something as technical as architecture can be made more, people can be made more aware about it. So thank you again, and all the best, and congratulations to all the winners.
Thanks, and Anne runs a center in Cochin called Center for Climate Resilience, and this is her journal. Yes, she runs a company called Bionova. Congratulations on your journal, and just to repeat again, the journal is called Journal of Eco-Urbanism and Neuroarchitecture. So, sounds very interesting. I'm sure you should check it out.
As this is part of a consumer education initiative, we have made it open access. So it's available on Bionova's website for free download. And we have limited number of print issues precisely because we want to make this sustainable. So we usually just mailing this to institutions and not individuals. So please, I hope you can all go online and download it.
That's wonderful. Can I now call on Gayatri Chauhan? She runs a firm in Bangalore called Buzz on Earth. She works at the intersection of marketing and sustainability, and she consults with several United Nations organizations and brands in Bangalore. Please share a word about your experience of being the jury of 5 books.
Thank you, Benedict. I would start with saying that it was quite a thrilling experience going through these books and trying to capture what the authors had in mind. And as it goes with any piece of literature, I think more than, as Anne had very nicely put, it is more than alarming and informing. Sometimes it is more to do with inspiring also. And it can trickle a thought which has probably never occurred to you, and that thought can lead to an idea, and that idea can be transformed into a solution. So I think that was the most important takeaway for me while going through all the books and understanding the author's perspective on each of them. Talking about the generic aspect when it comes to sustainability and climate change, I often start with demystifying the, I'll be a little mobile here because I don't want to be stuck to the podium. So I'm generally very clear on differentiating between the two. So sustainability is a way of life. So all the literature that goes for sustainability is timeless. You can, it will hold good even 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line, and it was good even 100 years before now. So sustainability is such a concept which is about a way of life. However, when we talk about climate change, it is something which is time-bound because we are hardly left with any time to act upon climate change. We are, as per the UN reports, the latest report on the gap assessment has very clearly stated the carbon budget that we are left with is only going to last for 7 years. And that really is something which we have to take note of, and all the forces have to come together for climate action. So I'm just drawing a differentiation between the two. Sustainability is something that can go on even beyond these 7 years, but the collective action which is required by corporates, communities, businesses, that is for these 7 years, and that makes it very important for us to, come together and start acting now. Just giving a little bit of my personal interest. My interest, I'm trained as an architect. I'm also have done my MBA in marketing and branding. And my entire career of last 15 to 18 years has been in the field of sustainability, in driving sustainability agenda at large corporates. And then I started this firm Buzz on Earth with a simple thought to bring the intersection of sustainability, marketing, and purpose-driven branding to the organizations. And it is so important because the whole purpose is the driving force for any organization, and it is clear that in today's day and age, the age-old way of marketing and advertisements will not work, and literature creates that kind of interface in order to communicate in the right manner, in order to tell the stories and narratives that will inspire and lead change. So with that, I would request Benedict to take the session forward. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And yeah, once more, congratulations to all the authors.
Thank you. Thank you, Gayatri. So now the award announcements. So the honor book, yes. So this is the first honor book. The sequence is we announce the winner, the third. So these two are, there's nothing like second and third, it's just that they are honor books. So Anchoring Change is the first GLF business honor book. Please give it a big hand. It is the collection of 24 stories of Indian organizations, social organizations, and their impact on their work on society. It's a fabulous book. Please pick it up. Unfortunately, none of them could be here. They're all based in Delhi. But we have a short video of one of the winners. That's Jaya Padma.
Half of the editorial team that worked on the book Anchoring Change, 75 Years of Grassroots Interventions That Made a Difference, published by HarperCollins India. I thank Green Literature Festival for the honor bestowed on the book in the business and leadership category. The book Anchoring Change was written to mark 75 years of India's journey as an independent nation, with a focus on the social development trajectory. Evidently, there are thousands of stories to be told, and we were able to profile only 24 grassroots interventions and innovations originating at different points in time in different regions of the country and addressing different social development challenges. This book serves as a memory to remember that so many things that we now take for granted were not always such. There were exceptional institutions and individuals who made it possible. The 24 grassroots interventions profiled in this book are unique in that they mark turning points in the way social problems were understood and addressed. Many of them were ahead of their time, and through innovative approaches, persistence, and patience, were able to create demonstrable and sustained change in the lives of the people that they worked with. Many of them are frontrunners and precursors to present-day approaches to development. Several of them went on to influence national policies and programs. What's remarkable in the reading of these chapters is that authors talk about challenges and failures with as much equanimity as they talk about gains and successes. They remind us of the value of patient engagement and that social development and change is a process, a journey, and not a destination. We hope young people of today and tomorrow are inspired by these narratives to know of the struggles behind the successes and take courage from those who have walked these paths. We hope these stories will trigger curiosity and interest among those who wish to understand how development challenges that India currently faces can be effectively addressed through engaging at the grassroots. On behalf of the authors and the editorial team of the book, I thank the organizers of the Green Literature Festival for the spotlight on our book, and we wish the festival all success. Thank you.
So this is the second honor book, Urban Green Space, Health Economics and Air Pollution in Delhi. So I guess they picked this book because of the air pollution stories that's playing around in Delhi. So please give this award a big hand, please. So again, they all are Delhi-based. None of them could come. We have a short video by Swati.
Good evening, dear listeners and readers. I, Professor Swati Rajput, the author of the book Urban Green Spaces, Health Economics and Air Pollution in Delhi, with my co-authors Professor Kavita Arora and Dr. Rachna Mathur, feel really privileged to receive the prestigious Honor Award for our publication. It is a Routledge India publication under Francis and Taylor, UK. The book is now the part of SDG's online research and learning collection and has got several citations worldwide. Urban green spaces are crucial elements for all cities. They affect townscape, provide ecological diversity, have relevance for healthy citizens and societal well-being, deliver important economic benefits and form essential structural and functional spaces that make cities more livable spaces. Urban green spaces are increasingly acclaimed as central elements in the promotion of environmental sustainability and quality of life in cities. Coming to the crux of the book basically focuses on ecological stress on cities and engages with challenges of reducing vulnerabilities and risks of pollution on health, well-being and livelihoods of people living in cities. Cities are the world's highest energy consumers and biggest producers of toxic waste and pollutants. With an emphasis on the environmental issues facing the city of Delhi, the volume focuses on steps to preserve and manage the city's urban green space. It explores the concept of urban green spaces and their economic, social, health and psychological significance in cities, especially Delhi. The book focuses on sources of pollution in the city of Delhi and assesses the role of urban green spaces in encountering these adverse effects. The book further examines the relationship between green spaces and social and economic development, urban health and urban governance. The volume also offers suggestions and policy recommendations to recover ecological balance in the cities. I, once again, on behalf of all the authors, accept the Honor Award and thanks the organizing team of Green Literature Festival. Thank you so much.
Thank you. For the first time in 3 years, we didn't have a consensus on the winner. And all the 3 jury members chose a different book as the winner. So the book of the year, GLF Green Business 2023 is A Green Economy, India's Sustainable Development by N.R. Krishnan. So N.R. Krishnan is based in Chennai. His book traces the global and national process of gradual change in the integration of development and environment, and is, in a deeper sense, the ethics of the relationship between humans and nature. This book is a veritable treasure of knowledge that shows how to live today for a common future in which no one is left behind. Krishnan's central message through this book is that the need of the hour is not a hands-off approach to nature, but to harness it wisely. So Krishnan couldn't come, he's unwell. His son, Ajay Krishnan, is here to receive the award. Please come on. Santhosh, please do the honors. You have 1 minute to...
Very briefly, father couldn't be here. He's about 85 now and suffering ill health. So since I'm in Bangalore, he asked me to come. He profoundly thanks everyone, including the jury and Greenlit Fest, and everyone who read the book. It's his life's work. I know, I was fairly close to him, and he spent close to about 9 to 10 years writing this book. And pretty much every day he would be in the library, one library or another, researching for the book, looking at different articles, even globally. And that's what produced it. If there is one positive outcome of the Wuhan virus, if I may say so, was that it forced him to stay at home and finish the book. Yeah, that was the only positive thing that I see coming out of Wuhan. Thank you.
So those who think that self-publishing books don't make it to the awards, so this is a difference. This book was self-published and it was assisted publishing by Notion Press. So thanks to the jury for all the hard work, and over to you, Megha, to do the honors for the Children's Awards.
Usually I'll have people, going away, and it gives me great delight because my entire career has been built around children's literature and making meaning out of the world through words written for children and, for a better future, honestly. So it's been one of my pleasures to be looking after the children's program here at the Green Literature Festival and, working on these honor book awards with jurors young and old. This year's shortlist had 5 books which were truly wonderful in their own way. Searching for the Songbird by Ravina Agarwal, published by Young Zuban. The Plant Whisperer by Shayantan Datta and Bhavya Agarwal, published by Pratham Books, I think Bijal somewhere here, I don't know. Shore Walk by UNAVES, published by Tulika Publishers. We Are the Dancing Forest by Devashish Makhija, Raj Shekhar, Venkat Sham and Neena Sabnani, again published by Tulika Books. And Grandfather's Tiger Tales by Anjana Basu, published by Talking Cubs. So without further ado, I think it's time to announce the winners of the year. Our first honor book is We Are the Dancing Forest by Devashish Makhija, Raj Shekhar, Venkat Sham and Neena Sabnani. Sir, can I have you on stage to felicitate Devashish, who's here with us? So I would like to read the jury citation for We Are the Dancing Forest. The striking musicality and eye-catching visuals of this book in verse by Devashish Makhija, Raj Shekhar, Venkat Sham and Neena Sabnani lure readers into the world of Adivasis, the earth's kuya muya singing the forest's hayya huya, where the river mumbles, the fish babble, hills whisper, trees tumble, and everything sways to the timeless tune of nature in all its lush bounty. Originally written in Hindi, We Are the Dancing Forest is an English translation of Hum Jangal Ke Jagar Magar. Judiciously balancing transliteration with translation, the English edition successfully captures the joyous, foot-tapping rhythm of the original verse, a truly remarkable achievement. Devashish, a few words, maybe?
Firstly, thank you to this young jury. I think it's a young jury. Thank you so much. And this award is for the entire team that made this book, but primarily for the Adivasi Gond artist, Venkat Sham. Without an artist of that sort, a story like this, like I said earlier, is mere appropriation. So this is for Venkat Sham more than anyone else. Thank you.
Thanks, Debashish. Yes, as Debashish says, we have a young jury. In fact, one of the processes of our award is that adults choose all the books that are shortlisted, and finally we have our young jurors who, I don't know how many of you caught them at the readers panel today, but they decide which 3 books they like the best, and We Are the Dancing Forest was one of them. The next book to win this honor award is Grandfather's Tiger Tales by Anjana Basu, published by Talking Cup. Unfortunately, Anjana couldn't be here with us today, but I'm still going to go ahead and read the citation for this book. The ever-expanding body of children's literature featuring tigers gets another excellent edition in Grandfather's Tiger Tales. The 3 stories in this anthology bring together familiar and unfamiliar narratives of a tiger that came to a cricket match, of the fearsome tiger god Dokhin Ray of the Sundarbans, and of a tiger and a man sharing a room one stormy night. And these are bound to appeal to young wildlife enthusiasts. What sets them apart is the old world charm and gentle cadence of Anjana Basu's writing that will make readers think about tigers with empathy without weighing them down with the burden of conservation. So that's about Grandfather's Tiger Tales. Yes. And finally, our GLF WWF 2023 Book of the Year is Searching for the Songbird by Ravina Agarwal. We have a representative from Young Zuban to collect the award on behalf of Ravina. I'm particularly pleased that the award has gone to an independent children's publisher. Can we have Santhosh? Yes. So I'm going to quickly read the jury citation before handing you the mic. Bidisha has come here to collect the award. A motley group of school friends investigating a crime and a mysterious disappearance in the Himalayan foothills. If it sounds familiar, you are not mistaken. But the beauty of Ravina Agarwal's Searching for the Songbird lies in how effortlessly it ties together various provocative themes and quite literally draws young readers into the music of the Doon Valley. The taut narrative is cleverly divided into 6 parts, ideal for seasoned and new readers, and each part is purposefully named after a bird from the hills, ensuring that readers come away remembering the crimson sunbird, the slaty-headed parakeet, the Indian paradise flycatcher, the long-tailed shrike, and the blackbird. A great example of fiction where nature is more than just a mute backdrop. So that's about Searching for the Songbird. Bidisha, a few words?
Thank you, Megha. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Zuban Publishers and Young Zuban, I'm delighted to be here to collect the award. Ravina actually is now in the US, but did send me a note to speak, and I'll just summarize it a little bit. Obviously, we express our gratitude to the Green Literature Festival, and she specially mentioned the intergenerational nature of the jury, which she feels is so imperative at this point to recognize in books like this. I think Megha has already mentioned a lot about the book, and Ravina would like to thank actually the naturalists and the artists of the Himalayas who helped her in the book production, and without whose teaching she could not have done this. Her publishers, here I am, Zuban Books, for believing in her work, and her husband Christopher and son Rahil, who were instrumental in the journey of its creation. Thank you so much once again, and hope you enjoy reading the book.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think that draws us to the end of the program today. Thank you for bearing. I know there's been really bad traffic on the roads and all such other little troubles that we face at any big event. But thank you to everyone who's been here. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening, whatever is left of it. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. See you next year.